Hey, how about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live Recruiting Show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Friday, July the 26th for you. It's Thursday night, July 25th for us. Keep that in mind moving forward with any today's, tomorrow's, or yesterday's. We will try to keep it simple. You know why? Because Saturday is a huge day. It's Big Cat Weekend version 2 under Hugh Freeze. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get to some questions from the corner. And here to do it all with me, as always, when they're here 100% of the time. Mr. Allen here, Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, fellas?
How about you? Again.
How about you, Jeffrey and Cole? By the way, 2 shows without me. You guys did phenomenal on both. I mean, look, you got me ready. You've got me ready for this show tonight. I feel like I'm primed. I'm ready to talk about Big Cat Weekend. I'm excited.
Hey, if anybody listening missed our show yesterday on Thursday, the Auburn Live Plus channel, or our channel is Auburn Live Plus, we went in depth on some Big Cat nugs. We got real juicy, real saucy with some Big Cat nugs. If you want to click over there, click join on the Auburn Live YouTube channel. I think it's $3 a month, so it's like 70 cents a week, and you'll be able to get all of that. Each week we're going to have shows. Different shows each week, really getting in depth. And, of course, it also comes with an Auburn Live subscription. It's included in that Auburn Live subscription. So if you want to skip the $3, just go straight for the monthly, man. Hit and get the website and the shows. Auburn Live on 3. Okay, we're going to get to Big Cat because it's happening 24 hours from when people are seeing this. Before we do, though, if you're looking for a house in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, look no further for the help you need, folks. I got it right here. Jessica Andrews with the Towns Group, the best realtor in my household. Absolutely. The best. And some would say arguably in the city of Auburn. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. A lot of fours in that number, J. Ed. Ooh.
That's $1, big dog.
And I just moved over the dollar. It's $19.50 now. A lot of fours in that number, Mr. A-Head, but she's a 5-star realtor. God bless, look at my face. I'm ready. I can't believe that. I've been doing so well. Jessica Andrews, folks, she is absolutely a 5-star realtor. If you don't believe me, go check it out on Zillow. She is a bona fide, legitimate 5-star realtor. Look at some of the reviews she has. If you don't believe me, you can believe them. Absolutely fantastic realtor. I see her work every day. It is impressive to see. All her customers are always happy. So give her a call, man. 334-704-4442. And as always, tell her we sent you. All right, fellas. It's time to get serious.
Yes.
Man, my face is so red.
You good, man. That is one of my second all-time favorite ad reads, right behind the one where I cut you off in the middle of the ad read and just started on my own little tangent, man.
You were just
you're like, hey, big dog, I didn't quite finish, man.
I'm glad you're back, Alan. I just can't do the. I can't do.
You can't do the 5.
I'm not as good as you.
You did a good job.
See, I'm
he
back.
Held up the wrong hand though. He held up his left hand.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Cole said I put 5 on it.
All right. So Big Cat version 2 under Hugh Freeze begins Saturday morning. Probably have some guys trickling in Friday night. The dead period is over with, so people can start coming on campus as of today, as of actually yesterday being Thursday. Was it Thursday or Wednesday?
Thursday.
Thursday. The dead period was. The last day of the dead period was Wednesday.
No, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
Okay, so they can officially start showing up on Thursday, but they're not. Some guys are expected to start showing up Friday night. The big event Saturday. I expect most of it, if not all of it. I think the weather's kind of 50-50 in Auburn for Saturday.
That last time I looked at the forecast, but here's the great thing about this, right? That's why you have that massive indoor facility. That's why you have that brand new football only complex. You have the ability to make sure that this event is going to happen regardless.
Right.
So, thank Alan Green for pushing that one across the finish line.
Ooh, at least he did something right. Oh, I like that one. I'm just kidding. So going into it, fellas, let's talk about expectations.
Yeah.
Some things that you're looking for. Like, man, I'm curious to see if this happens. Anxious to see if this guy shows up. Alan, we'll start with you. Welcome back to the show. What are some things that you're looking for, maybe expecting, curious to see unfold?
Sure. And I'm going to give you two things off the bat that are my expectation of what's going to happen at Big Cat Weekend. A, you're going to have a commitment, probably multiple. Two, you're going to have a surprise visitor show up that is not on our guest list and somebody that you weren't expecting. It happens every year. And look, I know I'm talking common sense here. These are things that anybody should know that's been paying attention to Big Cat Weekend since its inception, from the days that Trevon Reed was a recruit. And I heard you guys talk about that earlier today, brought back some really great memories. But as far as expectations go, or what I would like to hear coming out of the weekend, this staff has done a phenomenal job in the defensive recruiting so far, right? And I think we're anticipating that we're going to get probably some help on the defensive side of the ball here in the very near future as far as people that are going to join this class. But offensive playmakers, that's the biggest thing to me. Coming out of that weekend, does Derek Smith show up? If so, what does he have to say? Are you able to make a move with Usman Kroma, who's visiting Florida State on Friday, Auburn on Saturday, and potentially Georgia either Sunday or sometime on Monday? That's a huge recruitment. But you need playmakers. Sam Turner, another one, committed to Georgia Tech. What does he have to say coming off that weekend? That, to me, is going to be kind of the tail of the tape. Is it's not defensively. And look, you still need to make strides on that side of the ball as well. But in this class, offensive playmakers, what do they have to say coming out of the weekend, and how big of a move can they make?
I like it. Cole Pinkston.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Alan, with offensive playmakers. I want to see movement at receiver. That's where I want to see movement. I expect to see movement at receiver. And when I say movement, I don't necessarily mean a commitment. I mean, hey, Auburn's getting close to getting this guy. You made a big move today, that kind of thing. I expect multiple commitments, not just one. I'm with you there. I think there is a good chance there are multiple commitments that day, the day of, and not just talking about Anquan Fagans and Jared Smith who have announcements scheduled. So those two things are my biggest expectations. We talked about it on the premium show, Alan. It's got to get some offensive playmakers in this class. That's what's missing right now. It's nothing against Alvin. He's a good one. Also, Hollis Davidson and Ryan G can help you there, but you got to have some guys that are skill players that can really put the ball, across the end zone. You got to have that.
Okay, I'm with y'all. And we covered the commitment watch and everything on Thursday mornings. Auburn Live Plus. Again, go check it out. $3 if you're not, and that'll get you the rest of the month too for the shows the rest of the month. But if you haven't already, if you're not a member of Auburn Live, the commitments. We've got multiple expectations for commitments.
Yes.
So some curiosities for me on guys that may or may not, could or could not show up. We've talked about some potential surprise visitors. Like, who could they be? I mean, who would be a surprise to you? I've mentioned Jaden Perlotti. Who knows what that guy's going to do? He could just show up.
Absolutely.
Antonio Coleman. It's been such an up and down with Auburn and him. I'm keeping an eye on Antonio Coleman, and I'm going to tell you what now. Third Scroggins. He told me early in the week, I'm not coming.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't expect anything less from a kid that's committed elsewhere.
I would not disagree with you. And why would he tip his hand, right? And he's got the perfect cover to be able to come with his teammate, Jacoby Ward, just hop in the car and come along. Now, obviously, the cover is going to be blown once he arrives on campus, but that's, to me, it just makes sense. Auburn still needs a pass rusher in this class, even if you land Jared Smith. You can never have enough pass rushers, right? And
Absolutely.
Herbert Scroggins, to me, is a guy that they've invested a lot of time in. He's somebody that Josh Aldridge has targeted from very early on. So I seriously doubt they have lightened up there at all as far as that recruitment is concerned. And I bet you that dollar back, Jeffrey Lee, that they have worked extremely hard to get him there this weekend.
Naeem Alford is another guy. He said he's going to Oregon. I think he's going to Ohio State now. Will he come into Auburn on Friday? Will he come into Auburn on Sunday or Monday? Or will he be there for Big Cat? I'm not expecting him, but it would be a pleasant surprise. Isaiah Gibson's still on our radar or on
Yep.
our list, but I know he's expected at Georgia, and I just haven't got a confirmation one way or the other for him, so I've left him on the list. Another guy, I don't think Zion Grady is another one. He told us he's coming. I would probably be more surprised if he didn't show up than if he did. I kind of expect him there.
I do too. I expect him there. I would be surprised if he didn't. I said receiver, but D line, edge, that's a place where you got to bolster the class some more. I think Zay Hardy, the JUCO guy.
Sure.
I'd like to see him there.
Yes.
I want to see guys like that there. Even a guy like Buddy Walter Mathis, who just committed to LSU. I know they like him.
Did he commit?
He did, yeah.
Okay. I thought he was, but I couldn't remember the date.
Did he? I think he did.
Time for me to take a look at the old Google machine real quick. I'll be right back.
Let me Google that for you.
Yeah, let's see. No, he did not commit to LSU.
I think it's like August the 4th or something.
Okay. Well, he would be an uncommitted. I was thinking of him as a flip target, but as of right now, he's uncommitted. Is it possible he takes a look at Auburn? I've kind of had his name in the back of my mind for that reason. I guess I had just foregone conclusion that he was going to LSU. But listen, I think Auburn's got to get some defensive linemen. I think they got to get some rolling now.
Will Shamar Arnaud show up?
Wouldn't surprise me.
And again, Elijah Melendez, I don't expect him to, but man, he's kind of gone quiet after his recommitment to Miami.
Sure.
So he's at least he would be at the bottom of my list because it's such a a trip for him to make. And
it really is.
With the airlines Microsofting up, who knows what's going to happen.
Christian Jones out of Nebraska, does he show up? You know what I mean? That's one that I'm still kind of paying attention to because the linebacker board, while we got some really great news that you reported on earlier this week, Jeffrey, it's still kind of, it's kind of a guessing game, which is why when you said Melendez, that makes a lot of sense if you're talking about a surprise person committed elsewhere. Does a quarterback show up? That's, I think that's what a lot of people want to know. And I would tell Auburn fans this, whether a quarterback shows up or not, do not panic just yet, right?
Yeah.
I think there is a long way to go. And I made this point the other day where a lot of people were basically saying, if we don't get a quarterback there, we're done. We're going to have to get a transfer. It's over. And I pointed to Brock Glenn as a kid. That was somebody that Auburn was interested in. They committed to Ohio State. Florida State stayed on the young man. And guess what happened? They prioritized him, flipped him. And so there are flips that happen with quarterbacks late in the cycle. Do not think that just because one doesn't show up. And let me give you another point. KJ Bolden created all this buzz last year when he showed up to Big Cat Weekend, right? And in the end of the day, he committed not once, but twice to other schools.
Yeah, that's true.
By comparison, Jamonte Waller was not at Big Cat, nor was Amaris Williams. And at the end of the day, they flipped to Auburn. So just because they don't come to Big Cat Weekend does not mean that moves can't be made in silent. Like a G in lasagna, right? There you go, Darren Usher.
Flip.
Yep.
Flip. I love me some Usher. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. But, real things can happen. They don't always have to be a splash move for you to be able to make a move in a recruitment and to be able to flip a kid at the end of the day.
Great point. Yeah. Cole?
That was good. Now, I was going to say there's two other guys. I don't think they'll be there, but it would be surprising. Andrew Babalola, Malachi Goodman, offensive lineman. Finish out your O-line class. Like I said, I don't think either one of those guys will be there, but just in the sense of talking about guys we don't think Auburn's out of it with.
You
know what? Those are two guys that if they were coming, we probably wouldn't know it.
No, absolutely not. Because I don't think Auburn wants to tip their hand. Auburn is not the perceived leader for either. So if you're going to get one of those kids on campus, you want to wait till Saturday morning when they walk through and everybody starts reporting it, right? Because I don't think the staff has an issue with reporting once they arrive, but they want to get them here, make sure that make sure they're on campus first, and then they actually like those headlines once they show up. You know what I mean? They love the buzz when it starts, right? I mean, as you should. That is allowing the media to work for you at that point.
Sure. Going to be a lot of 2026 guys there. I know most of our focus has been on 2025, and it will continue to be because that's the here and now. But there will be several 2026 studs there. We talked about a little bit about that. Well, we talked a lot about it. Cole and I did on the Auburn Live Plus show on Thursday. Go check it out if you haven't already. All right, let's get to some of the questions. One more for me is Tyler Lockhart. Committed, decommitted, coming to Big Cat. I was really surprised by that. Again, Cole said it best, I think, earlier. He doesn't talk much, so it's not like, oh, I can't wait to see what he has to say. But I'm curious to hear what they're saying behind the scenes.
Yes.
After that visit.
Because there's I assume there is a lot of in-state pressure and probably even some family dynamic there with his brother being committed to Mississippi State. And yet he's decommitted and now coming back to Auburn. Mm-hmm. That has me intrigued. Like that note that you put up, that caught my attention, right?
Very, very, very intrigued. That was one of my intrigues. Curious what happens after this visit. So many dynamics. And again, I said this earlier on the Auburn Live Plus show, but you don't see many guys decommit and flip and then recommit. But man, it's happened a couple of times already. It seems to be not out of the norm anymore. I mean, it's still kind of out of the norm. But when Lockhart decommitted, I flipped my prediction to Mississippi State. Seemed like an easy pick. And then here he comes to Big Cat. I'm going, well, is this Hollis Davidson? Is this Antonio Coleman? Is this, it happens.
It does. More than anybody would like to admit. I think now it does, right? Before, if a kid, let's go 10 years back, Jeffrey. If a kid decommits, it's done, right?
Over.
But I think with the way how expedited the timetable is now, these kids make early decisions. I mean, super early. So the fact that they decommit and recommit is not as shocking as it used to be. And look, at the end of the day, NIL, pay for play, revenue share, whatever you want to call it, player incentive payments, whatever it is, man, it has changed the game significantly to the point that I think some of those feelings that used to get involved with decommitments, what happened, it's more business-like now than it ever has been, right? Because in the NFL, when a guy walks away from a contract and then he signs again, you don't really hear about all that drama that you would typically hear with a decommitment, right? And I think it's starting to trend more that direction where it is a true business decision. And so there's just less of that personal feeling to it, I think. I mean, I think there's still some of that, but it's just not to the same degree.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what the corner folks want to hear. What do they want to know? Let's get to some questions from the corner. I'm sure they'll touch on all the hot topics because they're so informed, rational, and logical.
There you go.
Cameron Cade at 45. Percentage of any 2025 quarterback showing up for Big Cat. Okay. So we know we don't expect KJ Lacey there.
No.
We don't expect Deuce Knight there.
No.
The only quarterback we're keeping an eye on as of Thursday morning, we didn't expect Juju Lewis to be there. Didn't expect Auburn to push. Didn't expect there to be a recruitment much of any. Thursday afternoon, you hear some buzz that they possibly could be there. I would put it, just from what little we've heard in the past hour,
sure,
as of Thursday evening, 50-50. Would you say a little higher, Alan?
No, I think 50-50 is fair. I think 50-50 is fair.
I'll go 60.
Okay.
That Juju shows.
That a quarterback shows.
Who else could?
I'll go. But yeah, just to answer the question.
Good deal, bro. I like it. You're answering the question. You're answering Cameron Cade's question.
Yeah, does a quarterback show? Yes. What quarterback? Don't know.
Absolutely. Good. I like it. Triple J 500. All right. What is y'all's early feel on Tyler Atkinson? Tyler Atkinson is the number 8. He's a top 10 overall player in the 2026 class. 5-star linebacker from Grayson. And he is choosing to visit Auburn on Saturday instead of Georgia, and that's fairly significant news.
It's very
That is,
significant.
you talking about raising your eyebrow? Because before that announcement that he was actually going to be coming, when you broke it and then Chad Simmons confirmed it, I would have been, I mean, I just had that kid pegged to Georgia at this point, right? I mean, you think he's visited campus there like 10 times to this point. He's been on Auburn's campus 3 times. Obviously, you know, stealing the line from one of our former coworkers here, Keith Niebuhr, you know, reading the tea leaves following the visits, right?
Yeah.
But now to choose to come to Auburn's event, which is their signature event, over visiting Georgia, maybe Auburn's going to make more of a move here than I anticipated. Now, I would probably still favor Georgia at this point, but let's see what he has to say, right?
Absolutely.
Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, I think Georgia's going to be really hard to beat for him. I get that feel. But I also know that he's got a good relationship with Kenyatta Watson, like a really good relationship, and others. I think Durkin's pretty involved there. But the Kenyatta Watson relationship is one that makes a lot of sense. Is that where Kenyatta used to coach Grayson?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's where his son attended school.
That's right. So he's got ties, connections there, and I think that is obviously a big deal for Auburn. It just feels like it's going to be tough to beat Georgia on that one. And honestly, I haven't seen Auburn beat Georgia head-to-head yet. I wouldn't even call DeMarcus Riddick a head-to-head win against Georgia. I would call it a head-to-head win against Bama. I think you've had a couple of those. Georgia's the next hump you got to get over. And
for an in-state Georgia kid.
Yeah. Or for anybody.
Sure.
You beat Joseph Phillips.
Joe Phillips, yeah. Eric Winters. I question, how much resource they were willing to put into those two. I think with Tyler Atkinson, they're willing to go pretty far.
Yeah, that's kind of the Derek Brown move, right? That's the Montravius Adams move, where you go into Georgia and you pull a kid that Georgia absolutely wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you do that, you know you've arrived as somebody that has true juice on the recruiting trail for sure.
Right.
I'm with both of y'all. I think Georgia until it's not for Tyler Atkinson, although it's very intriguing that he's coming. Again, I think we've talked about this on previous shows, but having those relationships with Auburn coaches like that, it's hard to tell them no. Yeah. Especially if they're telling you, hey, man, you've been to Georgia 10 times. So come over here and just check us out for this event. Just come over here. You're going to go to there several other times. And he said, okay. And I'm not saying that's how it happened. He might have said, hey, coach, I want to come. I don't know. But I'm just saying, as Alan said earlier, KJ Bolden was there last year.
Yeah.
And he committed to 2 other schools besides Auburn. So
yes.
I'm not looking too far into it, but it is very intriguing.
No, go ahead, Cole.
Go ahead, Alan.
No, I was going to say, as a counterpoint, a kid that was very similar to Atkinson, who was on the recruiting scene very early, Owen Papo, who visited Georgia a ton, but Travis Williams it just created a fantastic relationship with the kid.
Do you remember who his handler was?
I do. He may or may not work for Auburn now.
Oh, wow.
We may have not just been discussing him for the past
put 2 and 2 together until right then.
But
I will say that I think this is closer. I think this is real, real close. Even though I do think Georgia's tough to beat, I think Auburn's right there.
Yeah.
Would you say 60-40 Georgia?
Closer than that.
Okay.
I was going to say 55-45 Georgia is the way I've got it tilted right now. I still favor Georgia, but again, when you get a kid on campus for this kind of an event, you never know what kind of a move you're going to make, especially if they're dialed in on him specifically, and you'll just have to see what he has to say afterwards.
Yeah. Hey, it reminded me another guy that we need to mention. Will he or will he not show up? Daryl Johnson, Duke Johnson.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yep.
And Shakai Mills Knight.
Ooh, good call, Jeffrey.
So I think Steve Wiltfong had reported he was going to be there. Auburn wasn't so sure. So, and Chad Simmons put in an RPM to Ole Miss, which I think, at least I've had it 55-45 Ole Miss for a few weeks now. I don't know if I've ever had him. Anyways, so if he doesn't commit to Ole Miss, does he show up at Auburn? with Usman Chroma. Be very interesting. Wide receiver, running back. Man, this is going to be fun. A lot
It
of
is.
guys are coming. A lot of important recruits are coming. It's going to be a lot of fun to track. And Saturday morning, Cole's going to get that going. The Big Cat Weekend thread. He'll have nugs all day long. We'll have people showing up, surprise visitors, all that inside that thread. So follow along at Auburn Live on 3. Collected Bacon wants to know, what level of interest does the staff have in Sam Turner, the wide receiver commitment from Georgia Tech? And what is the chance of flipping him if they apply pressure? He's certainly he's on a flip watch if Auburn pushes.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and I think I've said he's kind of teetering on that tier 2, tier 1 level. If Auburn were able to get Derek Smith and then make a push and get Sam Turner, then they can basically cruise to signing day and keep plucking away at Caleb Cunningham.
Yeah.
If they want that third guy.
I agree. And Sam Turner makes a lot of sense when you look at some of the receivers that Hugh Freeze has had success with. They are these 6'2", 6'3", long guys. Not all of them overly explosive, but sudden, better speed than you would anticipate, have the ability to kind of get on top of you and then to be able to use their body in one-on-ones, back shoulders, things of that nature. When I watched his cut-ups, and then I kind of went through the Rolodex that is Hugh Freeze's wide receiver core, a guy that he looks like, to me, if you're trying to make a comparison, is Cody Core, former, I think he played at it was at Auburn or Opelika High School, Cole?
Auburn High, I think.
I think it was Auburn High.
Right.
But Cody was a 3-star, maybe even a 2-star at one point, coming out of Auburn High School. Went to Ole Miss, had a really good career there. Got drafted in the 6th round. Yeah, drafted in the 6th round, I believe, to the Vikings. So, look, again, when you start thinking about layering depth, it was always to me going to be really hard to come out of the gate with what you signed last year and then turn back around and sign, 2 more 5-stars, right? You probably were going to have to take. You're probably going to be able to get one big time guy, but maybe have to take a project as your second receiver. If you're going to take a project, take a guy that has the measurables and dimensions that you like that translate well in your system. And I think Sam Turner does that for Hugh Freeze.
Well, think about it this way. So, we like you say, pay for play, right?
Yeah.
Where are? Let's go back to a year ago. Hugh Freeze in year 1 at Auburn. We know what his primary focus was. We got to get receivers. We got to get a quarterback, Walker White. We got to bolster this passing game. That's big priority for this class. So they probably put a lot of NIL resources into getting receivers and quarterbacks, wouldn't you think?
I would think so.
All right. Paid off. If that's the case, it paid off. So when you get into year 2, it's going to be a drop off there because you just went that hard into it and you're like, all right, now we got to start building these other holes. So it's more, streamlined. There's not as many targets on the board. And that's why we've said Sam Turner might be somebody they don't take because Caleb Cunningham, Derek Smith, were they really looking that far past those two? I
Right.
don't think so. At this point, though, I think Caleb Cunningham always has a spot for you.
Sure.
So why not take a guy like Sam Turner? What's the downside exactly? Would be my question.
To me, there's not. And I will give you one other thing here, Cole. If they are actually going to move to 105 scholarship players for football, well, now there really is no reason why you wouldn't start to take a Sam Turner, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously, I would call it a success going and getting Robert Lewis and Keandre Lambert-Smith from the portal. Big success.
Sure.
Can you do it again? How hard was it? We don't know that. We don't know how hard it was to obtain those two. Maybe it was easy. Maybe it was very difficult. Do they look at that and go, wow, we can do that again? We can get some guys like that. And you don't even know how Robert Lewis and Keandre Lambert-Smith are going to pan out for you yet. You think they're going to be good. They're veterans. They should be good. But, you're weighing your options right now. You're still in a position where I had success in high school. I had success in the portal. What's the best strategy to attack this to keep filling in the holes behind them? And I think it's still a work in progress. And they may not have made a decision on Sam Turner yet, what they might want to do with him.
No, they may be waiting to see what he looks like when you get him on campus,
Yeah.
right? You know,
I said this before. They wanted to see him at camp, and then they saw him at Rivals, and he committed to Georgia Tech. So I putting eyes on him, Alan. Probably a good theory. Let's go Space Otter. Last year, you guys were pretty close to guessing the final rankings fairly early in the year. Oh, really?
yeah.
All right, cool. Where do you guys
right.
believe? Thanks for actually acknowledging something positive we did.
Oh, I didn't know they were allowed to do that. Can they do that?
Where do you guys believe the class will rank after signing day?
Okay, when I put my mock class together the other day, and I think I'm probably off by a couple of players, right? But if what I pegged in that class were to come true, you probably would have come in around 9th last year. I'm going to put the range where we've always had it, and I think it's 6 to 12. I think you're going to be in that range when it's all said and done this time come December.
I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to say 6 to 8.
Okay.
I'll just give you give me lucky number 7.
There you go. Split it.
I'm splitting it. I was thinking that just give me 7. I like that number. I think they get a quarterback in this class, and I think that will get it rolling. At least with offensive playmakers. That's the one thing lacking. I mean, really, that and D-line, I think those two are the two areas you got to improve at this point.
Let's see. 3 Tech Taunt. It seems the odds of landing Andrew Babalola are decreasing. So will Auburn turn up the heat on Goodman soon? Is Goodman an offensive tackle?
I don't. That's what I was going to. I don't think the two are
linked,
connected in that way. I think they want both. I think Goodman's probably a guard who could play tackle, but a guard first. Babalola is a true tackle. True.
Agreed. When I asked Cole, I was told Goodman swing, but probably interior. And then obviously Andrew Babalola is a guy. He is kind of strange to me. When you watch his feet, he looks like a natural left tackle, but he plays predominantly on the right-hand side in high school, which throws me off a little bit when you're watching that.
Right.
But I mean, Braden Smith was a guard in high school, and now he's starting left tackle for the Indianapolis Colts. So
right.
Sometimes contingent on the scheme that you're running in high school, you put your best athlete where you need them. And maybe they're a run heavy team and they just want to maul people off that right-hand side. Not exactly sure.
Probably.
Born to barn. What's the percentage chance of Tyler Lockhart rejoining the class at some point?
Ooh.
Ask me again next week.
You know what? I've liked these questions so far tonight. I think we've had some good ones.
Zach did a good job tonight.
I think if I were to put it today, it would be 45%. I'd stay under 50, basically.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would be a hypocrite if I said that they were just going to be able to get him back while also saying, well, Jacaleb Falk's not going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because his brother's on the team. If I said those two things together, that might be hypocritical. But I mean, I've always thought that there was a chance somebody could flip Jacaleb Falk. I just think it would be tough. And I'm the same way with Tyler Lockhart. I was impressed that they got him committed the first time. That was impressive to me.
To the chagrin of Jim Phillips, commissioner for the ACC, I'm going to go full Paul Feinbaum here, and I'm going to say Mississippi State's going to suck this year, and Tyler Lockhart's going to end up back with Auburn. I'm going to put that mark at 65%, guys.
Oh,
wow.
I'm not there yet, man. I want to see how this weekend unfolds. I don't know what I have it on the hot board. Probably around 40.
I think
I probably didn't until this week. Earlier this week when he decided he was coming back to Big Cat. I thought he was done.
I'm with you. I thought it was done too. The fact that he's coming back to Big Cat and because of the unassuredness on the linebacker board, it makes me think we're going to put some resources into that spot. And I think the young man is truly interested in Auburn.
And don't forget, man, it's not like his brother can't transfer to Auburn in December.
Correct. Especially if Mississippi State does suck.
Yes.
Interesting thing that we figured out today, Alan. His brother was at Big Cat last year.
Sure was.
I think it was
Surely was.
the only visit, maybe besides a game, that he took to Auburn.
And the picture you took of him, look, dude, that kid looks like a bear. I mean, he is a massive kid.
He was huge when he walked. So you talk about surprises. I mean, he was a 3-star guy, so it wasn't like it was a huge deal that he. But when he walked in, we all looked at each other like, "Good gracious, who is that
Yeah.
guy?" And of course,
Like a-
Auburn's offensive line was the position we were saying needed help at Big Cat time last year. So it was like, there you go. Now that's what you're looking for there,
Yeah.
right?
When it comes through looking like a fridge with legs, yeah, you want to go ahead and
Yeah.
sign that up.
Yeah, he's a big dog. Trooper Taylor's towel. Besides Naeem Offord and Blake Woodby, are there any DBs to keep track of?
Yeah,
Antoine Fagans.
Yeah, Fagans, and then Martell's Carter. Probably keep an eye on him
Definitely.
as we continue. I don't think he'll be a Big Cat, but keep an eye on him. And then Rayshawn Dinkins, the Georgia Tech commit, is somebody that we brought.
I agree. Those are really the only guys I think I've got left on the hot board at defensive back.
Sure. Well, no, you've got the kid that's from Carrollton who committed to USC.
Oh, Shamar. Yeah. Definitely. He's someone to definitely track.
Shamar's just someone. And then obviously, I don't think the staff is looking for a developmental corner, but there are always kids that pop their senior year, right? And their ranking goes through the roof. So there's always that chance that you walk across somebody like that that could end up joining your class.
Let's see. Wardam 23 over under 6.5 commits. What are you going to take? 6.5 commits over and under between Big Cat. So Saturday and August 31st. Is that the first game?
Yes.
6.5, and that's 25 in 2026. Shoot. I'm going over.
25 and 26. Oh, yeah.
I'm going over. I feel good about 3 in the 2026 class. And I do think we'll get to 4 in the 2025 class. I think we'll be at 20 commits when toe meets leather come that Labor Day weekend.
I think there's at least 6 by August the 10th.
Yeah.
At least. So give me one more before week 1. Yeah, I'll take over. 7 or more.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say 4 2025. So that would put Auburn at 20. Is that what you said, Alan?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you get 4 in 2025, that puts you at 20 commits. Tack on another 3 to the 2026. That puts you at 5 commits in the 2026 class. Hugh Freeze is looking really, really good at that point. And that may or may not even be with a quarterback.
Right. May or may not be. Let's see. TC Tuggers, who will be Auburn's highest rated recruit of the class once signing day passes and final rankings are released?
Ooh. God, that kind of depends on Naeem Offord, doesn't it?
Yeah. Andrew Babalola.
Yes. Those are the 2.
Where does Broderick Scholl end up? I mean, he on 3 was on 3 ahead of the curve with him, put him way, up in the ranks before anybody else did. He's got a senior season coming up. His numbers are as good as anybody's. So that'll be interesting. Quarterback, obviously.
Yeah. Can you flip Derek Smith? And then what kind of season does he have? He's a hell of an athlete, and he's the kind of guy that has the ability. I mean, you saw the massive leap that Malcolm Simmons took. I don't even believe. I think he was a 3-star when they did the rankings initially last year and jumped as a top 200 prospect. Derek's a top 100 guy now. Could he potentially make a move further inside the top 50?
Well, that's why I think 7 is doable for this class, because a lot of the guys still left on the board, and I consider guys committed elsewhere on the board, are highly ranked, a bunch.
I'm going through the top 50, the On3 industry rankings. Naeem Offord at number 9, Caleb Cunningham at 14, Andrew Babalola at 15, Isaiah Gibson at 19, Juju at 22. 22, and then it drops down to Deuce Knight at 38, Jared Smith at 42, Duke Johnson at 47, and that's really the names that jump out to me in the top 50. That's the On3 industry rankings. Now, Cole was talking about Roderick Scholl, who I think is the top 20 guy according to On3. So those are the possibilities. I'm like you, Alan. It depends on Naeem.
Yeah, I think he's probably. And Cole, I trust your judgment as it pertains to Babalola. My gut has always just been Michigan was going to be really tough on that one to beat.
Yeah.
Not saying Auburn can't do it. I think they are 100% of the game. That one to me, that's hard for me to get to that point. Naheem Alford, I can get there. I can get there with Naheem Alford, contingent on how Auburn performs this year. And then, what do his parents want to do? What does he want to do? Does proximity to home start to play a factor? Does Auburn decide, you know what, price be damned, this kid's not getting out of the state of Alabama?
Right.
Those are the things you can't predict right now.
Right.
Is that a J or is that an L?
That's a J.
I think it's a J.
J Naves are in my I'll pronounce this J Naves.
Oh, I like that.
You see how I did that? I'm high society.
I see that.
J Naves. Is Auburn showing any interest in the in-state four-star Landon Duckworth for the 2026 class? He's a quarterback from Jackson, Alabama. I think he was at one time committed to South Carolina.
Correct.
He is not a name that I have heard.
Me neither.
And they do have a different 26 quarterback coming in on Monday, I believe, from the great state of California. But now,
Ryder Lions.
Yes. That's going to be interesting to me because a lot of 2026 quarterbacks have come off the board. I know Auburn's still trying to figure out what they're going to do in 2025. I'm not in any kind of a panic at this point with 2026, but I do find how quickly quarterbacks are coming off the market intriguing to me. And where does Auburn, who are they really kind of circling as the guy they want to target? Because I don't feel like that's defined just yet. I don't get a good feeling that they're trending in one direction or another. I know Diabell was somebody that they had had a high opinion of.
Yeah.
But he's now committed to Texas. Where do they turn if he was the guy? And that's, that I'm just trying to figure that kind of thing out.
Whew. Cole, I'm with you, big dog. That was some surprisingly.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
They were good questions.
I agree.
was very impressed with our questionnaires. Let's get to some. We'll circle back around to Big Cat. Final thoughts going into the weekend. Disappointment, encouraged. What would describe both of those for you, Alan Head? You're encouraged coming out of the weekend, if what, and you're disappointed, if what?
I'm encouraged if everything goes to plan as it pertains to the On3 RPM, right? Like if we walk away with Blake Woodby, Hezekiah Harris, Jermichael Garrett, and Tootle, Shadarius Tootle. If you land those, I am encouraged because it means that everything that we anticipate at this point or people within the industry anticipate is going to plan, because that gives me faith moving forward that the other two people that are extremely important to this class are also going to go to plan. You need Jared Smith in this class with kind of some of the unassuredness that you've had at the edge position to make sure you go ahead and lock that in. We've talked on this podcast about how important Anquan Fagans is to this class. You need to see those go down, because if you land all of those, your 2025 class is now back in the top 10. Your 2026 class might be ranked somewhere between 1 to 3 in the country.
I think it's 1 on 3.
That would be encouraging to me. Disappointing would be the reverse of that, right?
Yeah.
If those things don't go to plan, now we got a problem. And anything in between, okay, it just is what it is, right? Take it in moderation. But that would be encouragement. That would be disappointment.
Cole?
Yeah, mine's pretty simple. I think encouraging would be we walk away with a clear picture of quarterback receiver. And I don't think we're going to have a clearer picture of quarterback, but receiver, I think we do. And that would be encouraging. Discouraging would be now. Look, I'll be honest. I expect commitments. I do expect that to happen. So that's almost what's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Discouraging would be there is absolutely no movement whatsoever at defensive line, wide receiver.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
Alan, if I could box your response up and play it back, I would, because that's exactly how I feel. With Auburn, sometimes it's not easy to do just what you think is going to happen. So I'm encouraged if Sunday rolls around and Auburn has at least 4
Yes.
commitments. If everything goes like you just said, the RPM, these guys are expected to commit. My commit watch list are all committed on Sunday morning, if not more, if not a flip. We're certainly keeping an eye on Derek Smith. There's no surprise there. I'm disappointed if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed if at least 4 guys don't commit by Sunday evening. And really Saturday. I really expected to do Saturday.
Right. But if they stretch one out to Sunday to continue buzz throughout the weekend,
right.
You get it, right?
Yes. Don't share headlines. Let these 2 guys have it, and then these 2 have it. Absolutely.
Right.
Fagan's on Monday, Smith on Saturday.
There you go. One of them on Friday, 2 of them on Saturday, one of them on Sunday, right?
Absolutely. That, to me, if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm very pleased if everything just goes according to expectations.
Yes.
And I'm going, great day in the morning if it don't.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one of those guys, you're like, great day, dude. Come on. I would be even more encouraged if we do have a little bit of better understanding on the quarterback situation. If Lewis does in fact show up, or we have more intel on what Auburn's going to do there for the 2025, I think we should know a little bit more come Monday about where things are trending at quarterback.
Yes.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for it to be over with. I'm sure the fans are too.
I'm with you. I was actually texting somebody the other day, and I absolutely said the same thing. Like, dude, I just want somebody to make a decision, right?
Absolutely.
Because
for the betterment of my life.
I can only imagine, dude. But for the direction of this class, right? I think we all have a little bit more assuredness. Like, once your signal callers in the class, you kind of have a better feeling of the trajectory of which this is going to go. And I don't think that a quarterback is quintessential to what we want to see coming out of Big Cat Weekend, but it certainly would be nice to see, or encouraging to see, in the vein of your question, that we've made some direction or progress towards whoever that's going to be.
Right. Kind of a better understanding of the game plan moving forward. Good stuff, man. I thought that was a great show. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, Auburn Live Plus. Go to that Auburn Live YouTube page, and there's a button that says subscribe, and then it says join. You can hit that join, and you turn on your notifications. You'll get all those Auburn Live Plus videos when they get uploaded. I think it's $2.99 or $3 a month. It's not much. And again, if you don't want to pay that, you rather pay a little monthly fee to get into Auburn Live on 3. That subscription is included in your Auburn Live subscription. I think you can still take advantage of this YouTube deal too. Go to Auburn Live on 3, promo code AU1. That's capital A, capital U1. I think you get 2 months for $1. That would include the $3 Auburn Live Plus subscription as well. One more time, if you're going to be in Auburn, Opelika, you live there, want to move there, want to move out, want to get out, need to sell your house, look no further for the help you need, folks. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Give her a call. Tell her we sent you. That's going to do it, folks. We appreciate everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. Lock on to Auburn Live on 3 Saturday morning for all the Big Cat buzz and news from myself and Cole Pinkston. We'll be back Sunday night for the call-in show. For Mr. Allen Head, for Mr. Cole Pinkston, for Zach in the back who stayed in the back, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay at that left lane. See ya.